we're pleased to be joined by Congressman Jim Banks. Congressman Banks, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to be with you. That was quite a lead up to me.
Yeah. Well, I just
glad
thought
to
you
be
should.
with you. The Bidens are the most corrupt family to ever occupy the White House. We should never forget it, and the laptop proves it. So I'm glad he's finally admitting the truth that it's his.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
now
I
he
just
wants to
thought
file,
you guys should know.
Yeah, now he wants to file a defamation lawsuit against Fox News and Tucker Carlson because they want them to make corrections of some of the coverage on his laptop.
Yeah, he's being defamed.
Well, the laptop proves without a shadow of a doubt that the Biden family was taking millions of dollars from our biggest enemies, the Chinese Communist Party, the corrupt oligarchs in Russia, in Ukraine, and we knew all along the big guy was skimming 10% off the top. So now that we have a Republican majority, we have to investigate, we have to hold the Bidens accountable, and bring all of this out into the daylight so the American people know what they told us was Russian propaganda. Remember, before the Trump-Biden election in November of 2020, this was Russian propaganda. Now they're admitting us the truth.
And do you have confidence in your colleague, Congressman Jim Comer, and perhaps in collaboration with Jim Jordan to get to the bottom of this? And even if we can't get law enforcement agencies to act, at least the American public will know before 2024?
I really do. I mean, if there's ever been the right guy in the right place at the right time, it's Jim Jordan chairing the House Judiciary Committee, and James Comer as well, the Oversight Committee. They're already launching these investigations. The DOJ doesn't want to turn over a lot of information to us, but now that we have the House Republican majority, we have the power of the purse. We can defund their jobs, their positions. We can make it very difficult over the next 2 years on these agencies who refuse to turn over the documents that we're requesting. And I expect that's what Jim Jordan, James Comer, Speaker McCarthy, myself, and the rest of us to do.
One more policy question before we get to this Indiana Senate race, which promises to be, quite interesting in the next year and a half. You're on the House Armed Services Committee, and I wonder what your reaction was to the suggestion by Air Force General that we could be at war with China by 2025, sort of echoed by Representative Mike McCall that he could see China moving on Taiwan within that same time period.
Well, I expect over the next couple of years the Chinese, the Russians, Iran, North Korea, they all know we have the weakest commander-in-chief ever to occupy the White House as well. So this is a moment of opportunity where they're not afraid of They don't fear America like they did before Joe Biden was in the White House. So it's chilling to hear a general in the United States military say out loud what many of us know to be true, that the Chinese Communist Party's goal is to dominate the United States of America. And there's a window of weakness that is being projected by Joe Biden, this current administration. So my job over the next couple of years on the Armed Services Committee in the majority is to hold this administration accountable, to strengthen our military, not to engage in all the woke, left-wing, ideological initiatives that they've been pushing on our troops that make us weaker, but to project strength instead.
And how can we do that, though?
Well, we have to, we have to hold them accountable. And majority, now that we have the gavels, I'm on my way to our first House Armed Services Committee hearing of the Congress, and we're already laying out a series of many very high-profile committee hearings that we're going to have with General Milley and Secretary Austin, all of the heads of the different departments in the military. But also we have the annual bill that we pass where we authorize their programs, and we have to use that as a tool to authorize or deauthorize programs in the annual bill that we pass. And my mission will be to uproot all of the woke programs that are being pushed on our troops that's caused a record low recruitment in the military. That's, everything, the vaccine mandate hurt our recruitment efforts, but also the woke stuff that they're pushing on our troops is hurting our recruitment too.
Yeah, those should be spirited conversations with Milley and Austin. And despite lifting the vax mandate, saw the other day that West Point is not allowing cadets who are unvaccinated to travel.
It's pure insanity. It doesn't help at a moment in time when as you pointed out, I mean the biggest threat that we face, the Chinese Communist Party, they're ramping up. Their military is more sophisticated than you could imagine at this point. They're projecting strength, and our military is engaging in these types of goofy, counterproductive initiatives like that. So we got to go after them for it. We're going to make it hard on them over the next couple of years if they keep this kind of silliness up.
So, U.S. Senator Mike Braun is vacating his seat to run for governor next year, and that to provide an opportunity for you to decide to run for Senate in Indiana. Why are you deciding to run for that office?
Well, I've served in the House for the last 6 years, and very proud of what I've been a part of, and it's an honor to serve at that level. I just look over at the Senate all the time, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see the Senate not fight back as hard against wasteful spending, not fight back against wokeism, not fight back against a rising China that's trying to dominate America, not do everything that we can to protect the American way of life and our American culture, which is very important. So I just want to be a part of the next generation of fighters, conservative fighters in the Senate, and believe that that's what Hoosiers are looking for. Indiana is a conservative state. Indiana deserves a conservative senator. I've been a conservative leader in the House, and this is an opportunity to do even more for my state.
But yeah, it's been a bit disappointing. Todd Young's been a bit disappointing. The junior senator from Indiana. He voted for the Green New Deal. I mean, as you say, it's a conservative state. You should have two Hoosiers in the Senate that are fighting those fights rather than folding in. He also voted for their codification of marriage redefinition. What's going on with Todd Young?
Well, I'm running for the open seat. I mean, each state has two senators, and I'm excited about the opportunity to go and be a conservative fighter for our state. I think that's what the voters are looking for. Mike Braun has been a reliable conservative himself. I mean, last year he forced all of his colleagues in the Senate to vote on a balanced budget, and I know that there were members on both parties that were mad at him for it. But that's the type of leadership Hoosiers are looking for. So very, very proud. We're off to a great start. President Trump endorsed me yesterday. I was very, very pleased to receive that endorsement. Tom Cotton, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance have endorsed me, and a lot of leaders, and even more important than all that, dozens of legislators and Republican chairmen and conservative leaders in Indiana who have endorsed me. So we're off to a great start. Long ways to go. So far, I'm the only one in the race, and going to do everything I can to make my case all over the state that I'm best prepared to be Indiana's conservative champion in Washington.
Yeah, but Mitch Daniels is more than likely going to be jumping into the race, and how do you see that playing out?
Well, he announced yesterday he's not running.
Oh.
So that's one name that's out of the picture. I have a lot of respect for Governor Daniels for what he did for our state. I'm sure there will be others. I have no doubt there will be others who get into the race along the way, but we're off to a strong start, and I'm excited about the road ahead.
What about the prospect of, say, an Eric Holcomb challenging you for that Senate seat, the incumbent governor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are lots of names that are out there, people that might take a look at it. I just think Indiana's a conservative state, deserves a conservative senator. I've got the conservative record and track record, and happy to. I hope that there are choices in the primary and on the general election ballot. I mean, that makes for a healthier process, and I can only do my part. I mean, I've been the leader of the largest conservative caucus in the House. I love my country. I hate to see what the radical left is doing to try to change our country inside out. That's why I'm running for it. I've got 3 young daughters, by the way, 13, 11, and 9, and I just fear what type of America they're going to inherit for my generation if we don't fight to do everything we can to restore America and stop the radical left from changing it. So you can go. Go ahead.
No, this is a little bit below the fold, but there's been some things written about this, and I was a huge Mitch Daniels fan. I still am. But, less so Eric Holcomb. And there's this sort of discussion about Indianapolis Republicans versus the conservative rank and file throughout the Hoosier state. And, and Mitch Daniels rankled some conservatives when he famously did his sort of put social issues off to the side kind of thing. And, we see this everywhere in Republican ranks. There's sort of some establishmentarianisms, and then there's conservative reformers who want to do system change, who want to, well, do some of the things that you're talking about, preserve and propagate American culture. And I wonder how you navigate that schism, if you believe there is one, in Indiana Republican Party politics.
Yeah, when President Trump was in office, I think the Republican Party changed in a significant way, and it made us stronger. And recognizing that these cultural issues matter. It matters that biological boys are being allowed to compete against my girls in sports, and we shouldn't allow it. We should do everything to ban it. And the House Republican majority is going to pass a bill to stop it at the federal level. So, in the state of Indiana, the state legislature passed a bill to stop boys from competing against girls in sports, and that was put into law last year. But we need a federal ban as the Biden administration tries to rewrite Title IX to allow that type of activity. It matters that transgenderism and the radical left is pushing some of this ideology on our kids in schools. It shouldn't be allowed, and we should do everything we can at the state and local and federal level to ban it. So there are issues that matter today that I think matter to preserving and protecting American families, and I'm never going to back down from those fights.
He is Congressman Jim Banks from Indiana's 3rd Congressional District, and he's running as a Republican candidate for United States Senate in 2024. Representative Banks, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.